When I was a child, no one taught me about sex. Oh, when I was a child, no one taught me about sex. I know I'm not the only one. What about you?
Oh, come on! Change the channel!
Oh, that's some silly stuff. Why are mom and dad always trying to hide this from me? I know that people kiss in bed.
So what do you like during sex?
I'm actually feeling like really terrified right now.
Wait, what? What's going on?
These little clips are pieces of my life. So for that last scene, I had had sex with several people and hundreds of times by the time that I was 35. And yet being asked the question about what I liked during sex was enough to send me into emotional freeze. I remember being in that moment and just being completely frozen inside. And I asked my partner at that time to hold space for me because I was having such intense emotion, fear. And I knew at this point that if I'm in my life, that if I'm being triggered by something, then the appropriate thing to do is to work with that emotion rather than try to continue a conversation. And because I was a scared boy in that moment, and so I couldn't answer her very reasonable question. So it made for kind of a strange interaction because I don't think she really understood what was going on for me. But she did hold space for me for a period of time just to experience the fear that I was feeling in my body. And I bring up these moments or experiences of my life that I was not talked to about sex at all when I was a child. That it was sort of hidden, but not quite, with the scene of TV, and then this experience with my partner at 35, because all of this impacts our life in profound ways until we turn and look at it or have different experiences. So knowing that I have this fear or shame about sex allowed me to say, okay, I need to do things to start to turn and face that if I want to grow in this way. So I've experienced a lot of sexual healing in the time between 35 and now. I'm 39, including that moment of sharing my terror and being able to stay in connection. And I've also had a lot of learning about and experience with learning the distinction between sensuality and sexuality through going to different types of gatherings and trainings, and getting to have sexual experiences with really great people who were communicative with me and didn't expect me to be some type of hard, lasting forever in bed performer. And it wasn't just the few scenes that I played through earlier in this clip. It was many other things that led to sex being a not so enjoyable and frankly shameful part of my life. And a big part of it was just my early sexual experiences. The first time I masturbated was a really scary experience. I'll share about that another time. And all my early experiences having sex, which were basically like going into something without talking about it, really just guided by what I had seen in pornography, which was my teacher from an early age, my early teens. I knew enough to ask questions of my partners about what felt good because I bought a book called Great Sex in my early 20s that I kept hidden in my closet. But I was never really relaxed in my body during sex, and not really relaxed in general around women or just in the world, because I was coming from this sort of linear world of tight-assed, work hard, perform well, achieve a lot. And so it wasn't really until I left that I was able to learn how to relax. So through the healing experiences from 35 onward, I'm 39 now, I would say talking about sex is easy for me. I push that edge in my life constantly and bring sex up as a topic often. It feels good to do. And I also teach sex ed to children, and that just multiplies the healing that I'm able to experience because I get to provide what I didn't have when I was a kid. So there will be more on all of this to come in writing form, at an open mic or a workshop near you, or in some more videos. I'm expanding the work I'm doing called It's Okay to Become a Human to include more media than just writing, which has been primarily how I've been sharing it. So thanks very much for listening, and have great sex.
When I was a child, no one taught me about sex. Taught me about sex.
Oh no.
When I was a child. When I was a child, no one taught me about sex. Taught me about sex.